What's up, guys? I'm Daemonxel, and November is the Dark Sorcery Month, where we get our first Nazgul, the Black Beast. Now, Swag got the exclusive kit reveal, and I have held off on watching this. I've held off on looking at the kit because I wanted to give you a true reaction to the kit itself. So we're going to go through his video. We're going to react to his video. We're going to be skipping around a little bit because we're just going to use the video for the kit itself. But I wanted to give Swag his flowers. Now, I will have a link in the description below to the full video if you guys haven't seen it already on Swag's channel, but let's talk about it. Alright, so we have the Black Beast. Obviously, he is Shadow because he is the first Nazgul, and he's going to hold control over a new faction called the Dol Guldur. Now, this is a little lore here. This is the team, Rekka, Charu, the Dol Guldur, are the ones that sacked Gondor and been having a lot of problems. These are the ones that fight against Gondor, right? And the Nazgul, as I said, each one, as we learned from one of the dev talks, is that each Nazgul is going to have their own team built around them. However, when all of the Nazgul are out, you will be able to bring them together to make a full Nazgul team as they will work together. So let's dive right in. Obviously, it is going to be Nazgul, Dol Guldur fashion. He is the tank of this team. His weapon, I believe, is a Morning Star. But we're going to bring this right up to the first basic here. All right, here we go.
Yeah. Okay, so we have our basic Crippling Shadow.
Crippling Shadow, all right.
Unlock, attack the target enemy for 80% damage and 50% chance to inflict weaken for 1 turn. And then at max upgrade, you go up to 170% damage and inflict weaken for 1 turn. No 50% chance. It's a guarantee. Obviously, got to pass a resist check. I'm a really big fan personally when tanks have this. Either they give themselves buffs on their basic or they inflict banes on their basic. I think that's what makes part of a good tank in this particular game.
And this is where we agree, right? Because if you guys have seen any of my videos before, you guys know I'm a huge fan of basics that do something other than just damage. And this right here is basically Elladan, but on the Shadow team. However, if we look at Elladan, I'll bring him up in a minute. Elladan's, when you first unlock it, it's 90% damage and a 50% chance to weaken on 1 turn. And then when you upgrade to level 4, you'll get the always weaken on Elladan, his max damage is 190%, whereas the Black Beast is 170. Still, fantastic kit. It's a strong tank kit. And again, it's basically the shadow of Elladan here. So let's go to our special 2. Our special 1, because that's our basic.
Our special 1 ability is called Black Tide.
That's a beautiful animation right there.
So you can use it turn 1, but at max level, at level 6, it actually gets reduced to 3 stamina. So still a turn 1 start at max level, but on a 3-turn cooldown instead of 4. At unlock, gain 2 stacks of counterattack and inflict heal block for 1 turn on the most wounded enemy. And then at max upgrade, gain 4 stacks of counterattack. Heal block is always preferred. Counterattack, inflict heal block for 2 turns on the 2 most wounded enemies. So increase in the number and level of heal block by 1 for both turns and people, and then gain 1 stack of feast. You may be asking yourself, what is feast?
Yes, Wag, I'm asking myself.
Character boon coming with the Black Beast, and per stack, it increases damage by 12% and armor by 5%. It's got a maximum of 20 stacks, and it lasts until the end of the encounter.
Oh, wow.
So it's like one of those blue abilities.
That is phenomenal right there. Now, let's look at this as a point in not only campaigns, but raids, right? The longer a battle goes on, this guy is going to get stronger and stronger, and he's going to take less damage due to the armor increase, due to 12% stamina, more increased damage per stack. Let's do some quick math here. So that's an additional 240% damage with Feast on. So let's see. So obviously the special one's not going to do any damage to the characters. However, yeah, it's gonna. But the heal block is going to be great. In raids, it's going to be good. We have to see. I don't think it's going to last in chapter 2 because whenever you topple the stone troll, right, he's gonna shake off whatever Banes you have on him. However, one of the key tips to raid chapter 4 to progress at a higher score is to kind of lock in that heal block so that he won't be able to heal back up to full strength in those 4 turns after he's flinched. So let's move again to our next move.
It goes above, let's say, Éomer's head when he's got like assist stacks or whatever. Importantly, it lasts until the end of the encounter. What that means is that, like, if you're in a campaign mission and you're going
we just
to
talked
the
about
next
this
wave, it's going to be reset. So, special ability 1, Black Tide.
It's a beautiful thing, though. That's phenomenal.
It's also thematic that he's attacking the Gondor in these ability videos because the Balkoth, which are the people he has serving under him, Charu, Rekka, they did attack and raid Gondor and only nearly brought Gondor down.
Hey, we just talked about this, right? We just talked about
Celtic
this.
Owl for providing us with that. It's also interesting that the kits we're seeing here are not exactly the same kits of the NPC version of the Black Beast that we have in some of the PvE nodes and challenges in the game. Our special ability 2 here is called Onslaught.
Oh, that's a sick animation.
You start the battle with 3, so it's a turn 3 move.
So it's a 3/5.
Ability description at unlock: attack all enemies 3
AoE.
times for 40%
we love
damage
AoEs.
per hit. This attack has plus 10% lifesteal. So
ooh, lifesteal.
Lifesteal. It's also an
self-healing
AoE,
tank, guys.
Max upgrade. Attack all enemies 3 times for 85% damage, so an increase in damage per hit. And this attack has plus 35% lifesteal, so going from 10% lifesteal to 35% lifesteal.
Now that's a great thing right there, right? Because you're doing multiple hits, so you can crit on each of these hits. And you're hitting all enemies 85% of the time. And you're getting 35% lifesteal. Now, we don't know if that's per tick. So if you're getting lifesteal on each attack, or is it overall 3 attacks and it gives you the 35% lifesteal. So we have to play around with this when it goes live to see this. But I am really liking this. I am curious, though, because depending on what his passive is, we've seen Special 1, we've seen the Basic, we've seen Special 2. There is no taunt. If he's the tank, I don't know how I feel about this non-provoking, non-taunting tank thing. We've seen it already with Rumiel, right? And I don't know. I like my tanks to be able to peel off. You know, if someone's attacking one of my weaker squad members, right? I want to be able to get his attention so that I can heal that person up. And I don't know. We'll have to play around with this.
Massive, super interesting. He's going to be able to sustain himself pretty easily with this ability. His passive ability is called Eternal Hunger. At unlock, on ally or enemy death, or when a Dol Guldur ally gains binding, 50% chance to gain 1 stack of feast. So another way for us to get feast
so we're
here.
building feast throughout.
Though. And then at max upgrade, on ally or enemy death, or when a Dol Guldur ally gains binding, gain 1 stack of feast, reduce all enemies' turn meter by 10%. This is an incredible passive. So at max upgrade, we get the guaranteed chance to gain a stack of feast, which, if you remember, is 12% damage per stack, 5% armor per stack, but it also reduces all enemies' turn meter by 10%.
And that's going to be fantastic right there from chapter 2.
Somebody is dying. So again, the feast stacks get reset when you go.
But that's only on death, though.
At the end of an encounter. So when you go through to the next wave,
what's binding?
A campaign mission,
right?
But think about chapter 1 of the raid for a second, right? When you're killing all these orcs, or when the bomber drops his bomb and wipes out that 6 orcs, right? That's 6 stacks of feast. Also, when you just kill some of these orcs, right, you're reducing their turn meter by 10%. I think that's going to be very valuable in all parts of the raid. Chapter 3 especially comes to mind, right? Killing orcs in Chapter 3 might be a viable strategy with the Black Beast. Let's go into the leadership ability. Leader ability.
All right, so he is the leadership. Okay, so that's going to each be leaders.
Unlock. While the Black Beast is alive, when a Dol Guldur ally receives a fatal blow, they survive with 1 health. Kind of like a stack of Unbreakable, right? They have all of their boons and banes removed and gain binding for 1 turn. When binding expires, they heal for 60% of their max health. When the Black Beast dies, any allies affected by binding die along with him. And then it max upgrade.
That's kind of like a glass cannon right there, right? So yeah, you can keep all your allies alive, right? With this binding, which means you have to take down the Black Beast. And you're going to want to take him down early on because you do not want him to gain those 20 stacks of feast. So yeah, this is actually going to be pretty cool. But what's going to suck though, right? Think about chapter 3, right? the capture and the death and all that stuff. They're going to be marked. They're going to get that 10th stack. They're going to die, but they're going to be bound, right? But if they mark the Black Beast if everything keeps bouncing around and they're all bound and they're not, as soon as the Black Beast dies, that raid's over, right? Because they're all going to die at that point. All right, let's continue on here. What else?
Everything I just read about the binding. The new stuff is, on the Black Beast turn, drain health from all shadow allies not in binding equal to 10% of their max health. This will not occur if the Black Beast is stunned, and then shadow squad members gain plus 15% focus. Binding is, skip next turn, cannot gain boons or banes, be damaged or healed, speed is reduced, when attacked, gain 25% turn meter. So basically, you take out either Charu or Reika, you don't actually end up dealing them a fatal blow, they survive, they get put into binding, they can't be damaged, they can't gain boons, they can't gain banes, right? Then they come back, they get 60% of their max health healed, but they skip their next turn. Importantly, anytime one of your Dol-Guldur allies goes into binding, you're giving the Black Beast another stack of feast. So Charu, Reika, let's say they both go into binding, right? That's 2 stacks of feast for the Black Beast. If they die later on, they're also going to be giving him stacks of feast. So you're going to be able to build up these stacks of feast really fast. Interestingly, he's also, kind of doing lifesteal on his own team, right?
It's going to be a very strange mechanic, right? As we go forward, if he's just continually draining health.
This can
so
kill your shadow allies.
It's going to be very hard.
Will heal him and give Black Beast stacks of feast, but it's kind of a trade-off, right? So there's some interesting mechanics that we have here.
Or there's a way that you can get around that. I guess immunity would help, but there's only 2 sources of immunity in the game right now. You have Arwen's immunity just for Rivendell, and you have Merry Pippin, which just works on them.
Gotta see what the rest of this stuff is about. He has an AoE, has a way to reduce turn meter, so he's got some things to work with. I'm just very excited about this kit, and I'm very happy
I'm really looking forward to trying this out. And thanks, Swag, for the video. Giving you your flowers. It's fantastic you got the exclusive on this. But yeah, I'm excited about this team. I love the shadow side of this game. And I'm really excited to see this game. It's going to be a very, very interesting mechanic to see in action. So, will they be raid viable? I don't know. We'll have to wait to see what the other kits are. We'll have to see exactly what's going on. And we'll do some playtesting once we unlock them and see how we go. So, until I talk to you guys again, have a great week, have a great weekend, adventure safe, and good luck to you and your fellowship.